What's going on YouTube? My name is Bancroft. Thank you for tuning in. And today, well, we have set 27's reveals outside of the pre-release leader and the additional Z battle card, but we're starting off with Mechikabura, which is pretty cool. This leader brings back Dark Overwhelm, which is something we haven't seen in a while. And for those of you who don't remember or might be confused by the term Dark Overwhelm, Overwhelm is a skill we currently have as well, where when you move cards from your drop to warp, you can play a card, and then that card leaves the battlefield at the end of the turn, which is kind of nice, kind of like a surprise attack, one last thing. But Dark Overwhelm, on the other hand, those cards don't leave the battlefield. But you have to have at least X of, so like Dark Overwhelm 4, you need at least 4 black cards in your drop in order to do this skill. So typically it's more primarily for completely black decks or majority black decks if you have other forms of tech, which I don't think, like obviously I think of AOD, but there's like, I think the Bardock Prismatic deck could benefit from Dark Overwhelms as well, because those cards are considered black as well. But yeah, no, we get Dark Overwhelm back, which is pretty cool. We have the leader's front side, which is an activate main. You burst 2 cards, you add 1 card from your life to your hand, then you can search top 5 cards of your deck for either a black Demon Realm Race card or a Demon God card added to your hand. What's cool about this is that there's not an energy cost to that, so you can grab anything you see that you will need for later turns, which is kind of nice. The leader has an Awaken, which is 5 or less life. You do need to burst 1 card, and then you draw 2 cards. All this bursting just gets you set up for doing Dark Overwhelms when you need to, which is pretty cool. And then on the leader's front side, you don't have your normal attack draw 1 card. Instead, you have a skill where when you play a Dark Overwhelm card, you get to draw a card and place up to 3 battle cards from your Warp to owner's drop. And that's not a once per turn skill, so you could possibly make it happen, Dark Overwhelm twice in a turn, and then you get to draw twice for that and to move cards again for that, which is kind of cool. This leader does have an activate main. Once per turn, you can reduce the cost of a Dark Overwhelm skill by 1 black energy, which is kind of nice. That way it's guaranteeing you, if you don't want to expend energy, like say on turn 2, cool, you boom, Dark Overwhelm a card for free. Now, there are some Dark Overwhelms that do cost 2, I think. Those are older cards. I don't think anything that we got revealed today has those. And by today, I think when this video drops, it'll be yesterday. But yeah, and yeah, all right. So we're going to go over the 4 cards that were dropped that do have Dark Overwhelm skill. There was Demon God Poutine Scheming, Demigra Encroaching Shadows, Demon God Salsa Scheming, Demon God Toa Scheming. And of those 4 cards, we're going to start actually with the Demigra. So Demigra has Wormhole, which is really cool. And also when you play Demigra using Dark Overwhelm 4, you get to draw 1 card as long as your leader is a Mechikabura, which is kind of nice because there are other Mechikabura leaders in the game. So as long as you have a Mechikabura leader, you get to draw 1 card. So for this leader, you get to draw 2 cards. But this card has Wormhole. And Wormhole is a skill we don't really see often as much anymore. But Wormhole allows you to Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm up to 2 times per turn. Normally it's once per turn, but now you can do it twice, which is kind of cool. Then you can Overwhelm again, and that's how you possibly get 3 draws out of this leader in 1 turn with combination of Demigra. Now that's not all, because there are other cards in this game, in this set, that also will draw you cards. We're going to go over next Poutine. Poutine also has Dark Overwhelm 4 for 1 black energy. If your leader's Mechikabura, draw 1 card. So between, say, Demigra and another card, boom, you're drawing 4 cards for up to possibly just 1 energy, because you're using the leader's activate main to reduce the cost of 1 of those cards. Most likely Demigra, that we have Wormhole. Yeah, leader draws a lot. Really good. Now this card does have an additional auto. When your battle card other than this card is played by a Dark Overwhelm skill, draw 1 card again. So if this card's on the board and sticks to the board, and you have Demigra on board as well, you could possibly draw 5 times in a turn just because of cards' interactions on your own board. So that's pretty cool. It does do a lot of early bursting, so you get a lot of setups, but the activate main, and then you're getting cards in your hand that you could combo off or whatnot. You can reset up drops. That way you can do other things, which is kind of nice. Like, this is a very draw-heavy deck, which is pretty cool. Next card I want to touch base on is Salsa. Once again, Demon Realm, Dark Overwhelm 4 for 1 black energy, but this time the auto associated to the Dark Overwhelm 4 skill is when this card is played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand since the owner's warp. Then auto, at the end of your turn, choose up to 2 of your battle cards with a Dark Overwhelm skill, switch them to active mode. That's really just protection, because if they're in active mode, your opponent can't really attack into them, so they have to remove them with skills. Now, I don't think any of these ones that were revealed have like block or any form of like protecting the leader, but this at least keeps your like Demigra and Poutine able to stick around hopefully for another turn, because your opponent can't just attack into it. They have to use other card skills to remove those said card effects, or sorry, those said cards. And then we got Toa, which is double strike Dark Overwhelm 5, and if your leader is Mechikabura, when this card is played, place up to 2 of your black battle cards from your warp into the owner's drop, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards, send it to the owner's warp. This is really great if you have Demigra on board already. With Wormhole, you say you already had 5 cards there, you activate Dark Overwhelms here, pay the black energy for it. Cool, you play Toa on the board, then you get to send 2 of your black battle cards back to your drop from your warp, and then yada warp opponent's card, but then activate the leader's activate main ability, put 3 more cards back into the drop, and now you can turn around and just possibly Dark Overwhelm 5 again with another card. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We did get a Deborah as well, which is a 1-cost card. This is kind of like your turn 1 searcher if you don't have any other cards to play. When this card's played, look top 5 cards of your deck, 4 up to 1 Demon Realm Race or Demon God card, both black with energy cost 5 or less. That one is obviously restricted by energy cost, but it just, I mean, all the cards we saw, I think, are 4 or 5 energy costs, so that would get anything we've seen so far, which is kind of nice. But also, auto once per turn, burst 2. When your battle card with a Dark Overwhelm skill is played, this card gets plus 6,000 power for the turn, making it a 10k. So for the early turns, sure, that could be something if you go first. But late turns, you're really just using that skill if you need to burst more cards, get more cards in your drop, if you're not able to get the recursion you need. But yeah, it's okay. Great for searching, though. Now we got something unique. It's not Overwhelm, but it's like Overwhelm during your opponent's turn. Bardock Destiny Changing Willpower. So it's a counterattack limit 1 that if your leader's black, you negate the attack and then you get to play this card. The permanent now on this card is if your life is 4 or less and you have 5 or more cards in your drop, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by sending all cards in your drop to the owner's warp instead of paying its energy costs. That's kind of cool. Now, your leader does have to be black. You do need to have 5 or more cards in your drop, but it's not like Dark Overwhelm, so it doesn't have to be like 5 black cards, it could be whatever. So you can obviously tech this into other black deck leader decks that have multiple colors, which is kind of nice. Like for me, AOD maybe see some potential here, but it's a free 15k battle card that will negate an attack and play itself just by sending cards from your drop to your warp. It's interesting. I like the approach for it. I don't know how well it'll be in a deck that needs cards in their drop to Overwhelm. Like, I guess you have no other option to negate. Cool, you have this card to send cards from your drop to your warp. And this deck does draw, or this leader does draw a lot of cards. So I can see you kind of adding this here because you will have a big hand. So if you have to combo, say like, oh no, I need combo 5 cards off, send them all to the drop. Cool, then I'll just have a free negate whenever I need to this turn. And then if you don't need it, then all you gotta do is just Dark Overwhelm the next turn, then activate the leader's ability to send the cards back, and you're good for another turn after that. But it's unique and interesting. I kind of like the approach for it. Next we have SS4 Vegito Barrage. Now this is a 4 energy cost, 3 Z energy battle card, but as long as you have an Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm card in play, its energy cost will be reduced by 2, making it a 2 energy cost and 3 Z energy. This card's a 30k triple attack with deflect, so it's hitting the board, and you're getting 3 additional attacks afterwards. For 2 energy, pretty much, you're getting 3 attacks. It isn't bad at all. Obviously, you just don't get floodgated, so use it when you feel like it's needed. I feel like this might just be a 1 of in a deck, a Z deck. Maybe 2, just depending on the situation. But yeah, that's about it. And lastly, we have some support for an older deck. Cumber, Vicious Warrior, 10k Servant, 6 cost card. Activate main if your leader is black Fu card. Play this card from under a Fu Z battle card, and then has additional activate main for 1 black energy. If you have 3 or more energy and you place 1 black Fu or Cumber card from your hand into your Z deck face up, you get to play up to 1 Super Fu Assault Dominator from your Z deck to your or your hand. Sorry, play it from the Z deck or your hand. So ideally, this allows you just to play the Z battle card Fu. Cool. Activate main, play this card. 20k swing. Great. But then activate main for 1 energy. Do set effects. Play your 8-drop Fu afterwards, which is just really good as well. I mean. But yeah, those are the reveals for today, or at least yesterday, whenever this video drops. But something else I want to talk about are other cards that you could play with this leader as well. What's actually funny is that I was going to talk about like other dark overwhelm cards you could possibly play in this deck. There are a handful, like I think 10 to 12 different cards, but only one of them actually has a specific cost of black. All the other ones are like specific costs of whatever energy, like it would be like 2, 4, 7, but it requires or not 7 but like 1, 2, but it's the colorless symbol, so you can pay any energy for it, which is kind of interesting approach. Those are older cards, but there was like a Demon God Poutine and Demon God Gravy, Henchman's Strength, which had Dark Overwhelm 4 for 1 black energy. When this card's played, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card from your hand. That can be really good in this deck. I feel like it allows you to kind of cycle some cards out, put extra cards in your drop that you don't want, which I think is pretty cool. You also has the auto place 1 Z energy in your drop. When this card attacks, chooses one of your opponent's battle cards. Energy costs 6 or less and sends the owner's warp. So I think this could be a good card if you don't have it. Possibly it's from Anniversary Box 2023. And yeah, all the other ones like Demon God Demigra, True Power Unleash was like Overrun 5, 2 energy, so you couldn't reduce the cost on that one, so you had to pay the 2 energy outright on that. Demon God Poutine, yeah, that was probably the only card I saw that could have some value or merit to this deck. And I think it's a really strong card, especially like moving 1 Z energy for your drop, which helps support additional Dark Overrun plays for in that same turn. Like you play this card first, draw 2, discard 1, then you use the leader's ability to make your next one free. Then you attack with this card, place another card from your Z energy to your drop, remove a threat on your opponent's board, and then Dark Overrun 5 after that because you'll have it with the Toa. So I think Poutine God, Demon God Poutine and Demon God Gravy's Henchman Strength is a good card to add to this deck. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think about this leader and if you like it or not. That's about it. Yeah. Bye.